Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound pleasure to introduce you to Gus Englehorn.
Music Talk goes to Quebec City, Canada to talk to Gus Englehorn, who is just back from Europe. We're going to talk to him about his new album, Dungeon Master, a record he wrote and recorded in a cabin in the woods with songs inspired by Hitchcock and Lynch. You're in Quebec City, you moved there from Montreal. Why the move?
Well, so for like the last year, we haven't really had an apartment. We were just like, we went up and lived with my dad in Alaska for like 6 months. And then we just were like subletting our friend's apartment in Montreal. And then he eventually moved back. And then we were like looking around for an apartment and they were real expensive. So we just moved back to Quebec City.
Fair enough. You've been traveling a bit. You were just in Europe, right?
Yeah, we were just in Europe like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We went to we spent like a week in Brighton, which was so cool, like coolest city.
And how was that? And you were in Germany and France as well, right?
Yeah, we went to Paris, we went to Berlin, did some radio shows.
And what was it like over there? What's it feel like?
Oh man, it was awesome. It was like because we pretty much just got done doing like a US tour in the spring, and then we did like a Canadian tour, and they were both like super cool and stuff. But Europe was just like, I don't know, it was cool. It was like I felt like more understood or something, like I feel like they're like so welcoming to like the weirdos over there, which is nice.
That's all right, eh? That's cool. All right. So the album is what? Dungeon Master, right?
Yep, that's it.
So tell me how the bits and pieces of it came together to become this album. What's the backstory?
Well, so we were just like living out in this cabin in the woods
Right.
for a couple years and just hanging out there, and I just pretty much just like doing what I've been doing for a long time, which is just kind of like compulsively writing songs, and
Right.
it kind of just, I mean, I didn't really have any sort of like, it's not like I didn't have any sort of grand like theme or concept behind it or anything. I was just pretty much just trying to write good songs, but they all seem to kind of come together into this strange like I guess I kind of really got like the direction for the album. We were playing our first show in Montreal, and like this guy came up to it. I had like the first song from Dungeon Master done when we did like the launch for our first album, and this guy like came up to us after the show and he was like, "Hey man, you remind like your lyrics remind me of like Dungeons and Dragons. It's like you're the dungeon master up there," and you're like and and so I just after that I was kind of like, man, that would be kind of cool to like if I could be a little bit like just kind of like lead like the listener through a sort of like some sort of quest through
Right.
a strange land. Yeah.
Right. So the quest begins with a track called "The Gate." Why is that at the beginning of the album?
I awoke in a pit with a man staring down at me, laughing. A closed gate I passed through like a spirit. I think it's it's like the entrance, it's like the gate is there and you're like entering into the world. But actually I got that that's like a pretty directly inspired by like the Alfred Hitchcock movie too. Like that movie Rebecca?
Oh sure. Yep.
Yeah. And in the beginning she's kind of like, I dreamed I was back in Manderley again last night, and I and she's like, and often as you do in dreams, I went through the gate, but I passed through it as if I were a spirit, And that's kind of, I just like watched that movie. Then I kind of woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, just wrote down all those lyrics of the song, and I was like, oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you're a big Hitchcock fan, are you?
Oh man, I mean, I'm super into like, I just recently though I got super into film. Like I've been like just watching like tons of movies. It's been super inspiring because like before, I was just I think I would watch like I'd watch like Coen Brothers movies and like some stuff that wasn't like super blockbustery, but I was pretty like a little bit more mainstream. But then now I'm like really digging into the classics.
So what else have you discovered besides Rebecca?
Let's see what else. What I've been super into. I mean, I've been watching a lot of David Lynch stuff. I watched all his stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was probably another big inspiration too.
Sure.
What I watched a Jonathan Demme movie the other day. Something Wild. I
Right.
love that one. That one's
Uh,
great.
so where and when did so did you record the album in like your cabin in the woods, or what was the actual, what was it like recording and making the thing?
No, it's a well, okay, so like pretty much like I wrote the songs like just pretty much on an acoustic guitar. I just kind of wrote the songs out, and then and then we made demos in the basement. Like my wife, she plays the drums in the band, so
Right.
we just after I kind of got done with the songs, we kind of just played together until we figured out just the drum part, and then we recorded all that, and then we made demos, and we just kind of like tried to add like we just pretty much worked on the bass lines and any other little things you hear on the album for like maybe a month or two, and then we went to this our friend's studio, which is like 20-30 minutes down the street, and he just has this like studio in his basement in Quebec City. So
Right.
we recorded
And do you
it.
spend
Probably
a lot of
recorded it
time
about
on each track, or do you work quickly, or how do you work on musically in the studio?
It's well in this once we are in the studio. I think I just out of like just for financial reasons. I think before we go in,
Right.
we try to we like really like I even have like a in a notebook. I got like a list of every overdub I'm gonna do, how we're gonna record the
Oh man.
songs, and like before we go to the studio, we play the songs, like we just practice 10, we make sure we practice 10 days in a row where we just practice and run through the songs. We like do that for hours and hours. So we get to the studio, we can be like really quick and efficient because I mean it's not super expensive as our friend, but still it's like still costs like still costs some
Right. Right.
money.
So when you say we practice, who's involved in all that? Is it just you and your wife, or are there other folks involved?
Just me and my wife. I tried to play with some other people for a while, but I don't know. I just it's too hard. It's hard to beat a band when you're a recluse, you know.
Well, and so why are you? Because you were involved in skateboarding and snowboarding and all that stuff, and now you've made this move. Were you a recluse then as well? I mean, yeah, have you always been that way?
A little bit. I mean, I'm from like a little village in Alaska, so I think I just was like always used to just kind of being like I kind of grew up between Hawaii and Alaska. And we were just always in the middle of nowhere, so like I was just used
Right.
to just being with just my brother most of the time, just my big brother, and then like, but I kind of would always like. It's like socializing for me. It's like I go out into the world and I like kind of do it for a little bit, but then I need to like get back to my
Right.
like I would like snowboarding, like I would always be traveling for like 6 months of the year pretty much. And then I would end up going back to Alaska for 6 months and just kind of hiding out in the woods up there. But
So what got you into music? What was there a moment, a record, a song that kind of made you think that that's what you wanted to do?
man, that's a good question. I don't know. You know, well, actually, you know what? I think like when I first got into it, I was just like, I just wanted to be like Jimi Hendrix or something. Like I was just working on like, it's funny because you don't hear that at all in the music anymore. But like I was just
No.
like into soloing. That's all I wanted to do. I would just like look up on YouTube. There's like these things called like backing tracks. You can just look up like blues backing track in B minor, and I would just like get my guitar and I would just like solo over the top for like 7 hours, you know. And that's all I thought. I was like super into lead guitar, and then eventually I always loved Bob Dylan and stuff. So it's probably like I just eventually I kind of wanted to like I thought to myself if I could just write one good song, that'd be pretty. I'd be happy. So
Right, right, right.
I'm still trying. It's still,
Still trying. And are you always writing, or did you write these songs? There's like 10 songs on the record. Did you write them specifically for this album, or was it stuff that you had around that you just kind of put together for the record?
I'm pretty much always writing like pretty much every day I wake up and I just try to that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. I'm pretty obsessed with it at this point.
Right.
But and so I'm pretty much just always working on stuff, and I'm pretty slow though. Like I work at it every day, but stuff doesn't come together very often. And usually I got kind of just like a big pool of ideas floating around, and it's usually I finish songs by just kind of collaging different like musical ideas together until something. But and I guess I gotta. I like to tell stories, so it's like usually I get like some lyrics that are kind of like different, two blocks of lyrics, and I just I'm moving them around for years until I eventually find two blocks that are kind of like they tell a story together, even though I didn't intention them to tell a story. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Right. All right. Now you have a song on your album called "Exercise Your Demons," which it reminded me of a guy named Rocky Erickson. Do you know who he was
Oh,
from the
I've
13th Floor
seen
Elevator?
Rocky Erickson. I'm like
You
glad
have.
to say, yeah, yeah, he's great. I love Rocky.
How did you discover him?
Oh man, how did I? I think I probably discovered him through snowboard videos. Like my friend in from Quebec City, Ben Bill, like he used Night of the Vampire in for
Right.
his snowboard video part. So
Uh, so, what
yeah,
inspired "Exercise Your Demons"?
Exercise my demons. Exercise my demons. Exercise my demons. Exercise my demons. Just exercise, yeah.
I guess this is another one that's kind of inspired by film and my own personal experiences, I would say. But it's like I would say the beginning of it, the "Hit Me, I Want You to Hit Me" is inspired by Blue Velvet when Dorothy Valentine wants her to hit him, or wants
Right.
her, yeah, wants him to hit her, and so I was just thinking of how it's kind of a little bit about how like people turn to very destructive behavior when all you really need to do
Right.
is just get like a little bit of exercise, because like that I can relate to that because it's like sometimes I'll be like really down in the dumps or overworked, I'll be going crazy, and then I just go for like a little run or go skate around or something. I feel so much better. It's like exercise is so powerful for that.
Right. 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 Cool. 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 Uh, and are you guys making a magazine as well? Did I read that somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. My wife, she made a zine already. It's all done. It's like it's just pretty much. It's kind of like a zine slash lyric booklet. Um, yep. But it's pretty cool. She just like made a painting for each song. It's just one painting, one lyric, one song, one painting. Yeah.
So you guys sound very artistic, creative. Are you all the two of you always making stuff and thinking about what you're going to create?
Yeah, definitely. We're always trying to make something. It seems like I don't know what the reason is for it, but it seems like that's what we do all day. Like before we had this kind of like big basement too, we always make all the music videos are pretty much made in that basement. I would just go down there and like make a bunch of papier mache down in the basement and yeah, but yeah, we're always making something, mostly writing songs, but
And
sometimes
from what I understand, she paints her images kind of inspired by your songs. Is that how it works?
for the zine, yeah, she just like took the inspiration from the songs and made paintings for each one. But she's also like a professional illustrator, so she kind of does it for a living.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, good for me, or else I wouldn't have been able to learn how to write songs.
Oh dear. So if you weren't doing music and skateboarding, what would you do for a living?
Man, it's a good question. I have no idea. I mean, I don't really do it for a living right now. I mean, I try
Yeah,
to,
well,
but I'm pretty much. I mean, for so like after snowboarding ended, I was just super poor, and like 3 or 4 years of just pretty much like total poverty. And like Esty, she just supported me during those years, and I just was just trying to write songs all day. And I guess she figured I'd get good, I'd get good enough eventually. But now, just recently, that's the first time I made any money doing it. So like for the last 5 years, I've just pretty much been like the typical singer songwriter,
right, right.
boyfriend, husband who relies on their spouse. But
Oh well, at least
I worked
you got some backup.
yeah, that's always. I do work a little construction here and there. I guess that's probably what I'd be doing if I didn't
Right,
have
right.
anything else to do. But yeah.
Now the album came out a little while ago, about a month or so ago. So have you gotten any kind of reaction, feedback from fans, from people? What's it been like for you?
It's been good. It's cool because this time, like the first one we released, we weren't on a label or anything. So this one's been kind of cool because we actually like. It seems like they're better at getting people to listen to it and stuff. So
That's what
it's like
labels
definitely
do.
doing way better than anything else we've ever done. That's for sure. Which is
Now
cool.
you're on
And it's
Secret City, right?
yeah, Secret City. Yep.
So
Yep.
how did you and Secret City get together?
Well, we had this friend who had a radio show in Montreal, and we sent him the first record, and he would play it on the radio all the time. He really liked it. And then when we made the second record, when we had like the demos done, we just sent them to him, and he just like sent them around to a bunch of labels around Montreal, we started talking to a couple different labels, and then eventually we like, and they seem like a really like cool label with a good reputation. So we just signed with them.
Right. And did they have any input? Did they tell you kind of what they wanted from you for the record?
No, because the record was done. Like by the time
Right.
pretty much where we did it, it was pretty much all done. Or else maybe they would have. I don't know. I don't know. They seem like they're pretty like artist friendly, but I have no idea.
Right.
Maybe yeah,
Right.
maybe they
And
would
so
have though.
are you thinking about the next record already?
Oh man, yeah, I'm trying to write it every day. I'm like, I'm hell bent on writing the third one, but it's going slow. But I got a couple songs though. I got like one or two songs, so it's it's I think it's gonna happen. You never feel, you always feel like you're never gonna write another record again. After you get done with the one, you're like, oh, it's impossible. But somehow it comes together. It seems like.
Man, that's cool. That's cool. So, have you ever been down to this part of the world, down to New Zealand, Australia, that kind of?
No, I would love to though. I mean, I've always heard such good things. I mean, I guess my dad went to New Zealand like in the 70s or something, the 60s.
Right.
And he said it was like he said he couldn't believe how nice people were, and he said it looked like a piece of Alaska just broke off and floated down to the southern hemisphere because he said it's just beautiful with all the mountains and stuff. So I've
Yeah.
always wanted to go. He said people would just put their milk, like the money for their milk, out on their porch. He said he was just biking down the street and there was just like money on all the porches. Like if you did that in the States, it would just be gone in like 2 seconds.
I'm not sure that they're doing much of that here these days, but
Oh,
but still,
yeah.
especially, you must have been down in the South Island where it's much more rural and in the sounds and all that stuff. They probably do some of that down there. Yeah,
That's
pretty
good.
cool.
I hope they haven't lost their faith in humanity like the rest of the world.
Yeah, well,
It happens.
it's strange. Strange things are happening everywhere. Are you?
Yeah.
Do you think much about politics?
I try not to. I try to just. I think I'm too fragile. I mean, I don't know. I know it's like sort of it's like your responsibility as a good citizen to stay informed and stuff. But I pretty much just put my head in the sand. I don't know. I'm just,
Right.
you know, yeah,
And do you consider yourself an American or Canadian?
I guess I consider myself an American. I guess just. I mean, sort. I don't know. I'm not a Canadian yet. I'm applying though for my permanent residency,
Right.
and I'm going to be pretty stoked to be part of the Commonwealth. I gotta say. I mean, like I've been wanting wanting to live around the Commonwealth for a while. So hopefully, like, I don't know. I really dig like Brighton in the UK. I'd like to try to live there, but
Right. Right. Yeah, it's
yeah,
nice there. Yep, I've
yeah.
been there. And you watched the ceremony with the Queen, since you're going to be a part of the Commonwealth.
The Jubilee.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the Jubilee? That's what I want to know. I was trying to figure it out this morning. But is
Well,
it
they're
when she?
celebrating 70 years of her being the Queen.
Okay. That's when she was crowned. It's the anniversary of her being crowned queen. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
what I.
Because I think she was crowned in 1952, so that was 70 years ago.
Okay, 70. Wow, 70 years. Oh, that's crazy. Is it going on right now?
It just finished like yesterday. There was
Oh
4 days
man.
of celebration,
Oh
but
man.
there's plenty on. You can watch it on YouTube. It's all there, I'm sure.
Okay, I'll check it out, man. Now that I'm becoming part of the Commonwealth, I gotta get used to
You
these
gotta
types.
you gotta study up. You gotta be up on the royals. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, I'll let it go at that because obviously you have work to do now. So thanks for taking time to talk to me. Now before we hang up, I just with this Riverside thing that we're on, we can close out the conversation, but keep your browser or whatever you got open for like 30 seconds, so because it's recording on both sides, so that
Okay.
way. Otherwise, I'll have to tell you to do something afterwards, and it's annoying.
Okay, I'll keep it open for sure. Hey,
But
thanks for
anyway,
having me
yeah.
on.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good luck with the
Yeah.
record, and look forward to the next one.
Oh,
See you
thank
later.
you so much. See you later. Nice meeting you.
Hey, bye
Bye.
bye.